On Global TV News Express, Natasha files petition to disbar Senate Ethics Committee chairman. In business, Nigeria partners with Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development to tackle illicit financial flows. On the foreign scene, Russian troops killed in Kursk strike. And in sports, Akwa Ibom offers free tickets for Super Eagles vs Zimbabwe match. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Express on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I'm Queen Agaba. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes channel 276. You can also download the Global TV Nigeria mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. The suspended senator for Kogi Central, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, has filed a petition to disbar the chairman, Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petition, Senator Nendawem Imasue, and have his name removed as a lawyer. In the petition she filed before the Legal Practitioners Disciplinary Committee, the Kogi lawmaker alleged that the New York Supreme Court Appellate Division had on May 10, 2010, indicated and disbarred the Senate Ethics Committee chairman for fraud, misappropriation of clients' funds, and failure to respond to disciplinary authorities. To back her allegation, the petitioner tendered to the LPDC a copy of the Justia New York Case Law 2010 with a little matter of Imasue. The federal government has assured members of the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, that the backlog of their newly approved 77,000 naira monthly allowance will be paid, despite months of delay. The government also dismissed reports of any disciplinary action against a corps member, Ushie Ugwamaye, who criticized President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on social media recently. Minister of Youth Development Ayodele Olawande reaffirmed the government's commitment to fulfilling its promise to corps members. The Senate has confirmed the appointment of Sylvester Ndidi Nwakuche as the Controller General, Nigerian Correctional Service. The confirmation by the Senate was a sequel to the presentation and consideration of Senator Adams Oshiomhole, Edo North-led Senate Committee on Interior. President Tinubu had on Tuesday last week asked the Senate to consider and confirm the nomination of Sylvester Ndidi Nwakuche as the Controller General, Nigerian Correctional Service. The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Ondo State Command, says it has uncovered an illegal crude oil reservoir in the state. This is contained in a statement by the spokesperson for the command, DSC Daniel Aida Membo, and made available to newsmen. Aida Membo explained that the illegal crude oil reservoir was uncovered during a joint operation with the Nigerian Army and Tantita Security Service. The Special Advisor on Information and Strategy to President Bola Tinubu, Bayo Onanuga, has dismissed the assertion by former Anambra Governor Peter Obi that democracy has collapsed, describing it as hyperbolic and lacking logical foundation. Onanuga, in a statement on X, criticized Obi's comments during a colloquium to mark the 60th birthday of former Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives and ex-Imo Governor Emeka Ihedioha. He argued that democracy in Nigeria has remained resilient over the years and has continued to strengthen since 1999. President Bola Tinubu has congratulated former President Goodluck Jonathan on receiving the 2025 Sunhak Peace Founders Award. In a statement issued by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, Tinubu commended Jonathan for his dedication to promoting peace and democracy. The statement reveals that Dr. Jonathan's winning the Sunhak Peace Award affirms his bold efforts in peace building and promoting democracy in Africa and beyond. The federal government is set to upgrade and modernize livestock facilities across Nigeria. Minister of Livestock Development, Idi Meha, disclosed this during a one-day inspection tour in Benue State. The visit aims to boost agricultural growth and enhance livestock production. Felicity Ndere reports.
As part of efforts to improve the livestock sector, the minister visited projects in Boko and Gwe East. These include the Swine and Crop Improvement Project and the Livestock Investigation and Breeding Center. The tour focused on assessing facilities, enhancing functionality, and boosting food security. Meha stressed the need for collaboration with the Benue Bureau of Livestock Development. He emphasized the need for research and technology for fast-growing, high-yield livestock, saying the initiative aligns with the government's plan for economic growth and self-sufficiency while directing the clearance of 500 hectares within 2 weeks for pasture, which will help revive the 2,400-hectare livestock breeding center in Rav, Gwe East.
And then what is the business model, best business model to run them? Whether they belong to state, whether they are PPP, or whether they belong to federal government, it doesn't matter. We want to see what is happening, assess the potentials, look at the capacity, and then see how we can go forward. And this is the way to go. There are enough opportunities for us in this country. We have no reason to import meat. We have no reason to import dairy products into this country. And what is happening here today is an icebreaker.
Director General Benue Bureau of Livestock Development and Transboundary Animal Diseases Control, Dr. Aundaka Asambi, described the visit as a game changer. He says it marks a step towards transforming livestock production as well as improving animal breeds and boosting the economy.
We are ready to set aside the rhetorics and take pragmatic steps towards reviving the livestock industry in Benue and then bringing respite to our people who have over the time been sent to IDP camps. These are part of the steps that we hope to bring peace to the people of Benue.
The team also visited Makudi North Bank International Cattle Market to assess hygiene and business operations. In Makudi, Felicity Ndere, Global TV News.
Suspended Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has raised the alarm over fake reports of pipeline explosions in the state, urging security agencies to investigate and take action against those spreading false information. In a statement issued by his Chief Press Secretary Nelson Shukuti, Fubara dismissed viral videos of alleged attacks on oil and gas facilities as fake and malicious, warning against attempts to incite chaos. He stressed his commitment to maintaining peace in the state. It is a significant day for several communities in Imo State as Governor Hope Uzodinma officially presented the staff of office to their newly elected traditional rulers. The ceremony held at the Sam Mbakwe Exco Chambers, Government House, Owerri, the state capital. Our correspondent Amarachi Ibe reports.
It was moments of pride and responsibility at Sam Mbakwe Exco Chambers as Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma reaffirmed his administration's commitment to preserving tradition and fostering grassroots development. While congratulating the royal fathers, Governor Uzodinma acknowledged the trust their people have placed in them. He described their ascension as a call to service, urging them to lead with integrity, wisdom, and a deep sense of responsibility.
The ruler has a responsibility to serve the people, to look after the people, to treat the people in a manner that will give God satisfaction. That you are a traditional ruler does not make those you are ruling slaves.
The governor also emphasized the crucial role of traditional rulers in governance, security, and cultural preservation. He reassured them of his administration's full support in strengthening the traditional institution and ensuring peace and progress in their communities.
You are part of government. You are our ambassadors at the community level. So raise vigilante. Work with the youth population in your community. Defend the community.
In their response, The newly installed monarchs expressed gratitude to the governor for entrusting them with this responsibility. They pledged to serve their people with fairness, uphold peace, and contribute to the overall development of Imo State.
We are so impressed with the tremendous job you are doing. On behalf of my colleagues this evening, that we do our best to ensure that peace and tranquility returns to our various communities in Imo State.
With the staff of office now in their hands, these new traditional rulers are officially recognized and empowered to lead, preserving the customs and traditions of their people while working in harmony with the government. From Government House, Owerri, Amarachi Ibe, reporting for Global TV News.
The sole administrator of Rivers State, Vice Admiral retired Ibok Ete Ekwe Ibas, has announced the resignation of the head of service, Dr. George Nwaike, describing the development as sad. The administrator appreciated the immense contributions of Nwaike in the short period he served the administration and wished him well in his future endeavors. Ibas said in the interim, Dr. Iyengi Brown, Permanent Secretary Welfare, Office of the Head of Service, had been appointed in acting capacity until the emergence of a new head of service. The Minister of Defense, Mohammed Badaru, has inaugurated the first phase training for 800 Special Forces personnel tasked with conducting high-impact operations with precision, speed, and efficiency. Badaru, while inaugurating the Special Operations Forces for the Armed Forces of Nigeria at Camp Kabala in Jaji Military Cantonment, Kaduna State, says they would be engaged in rapid response missions. He also says that the initiative was part of new strategies to address the lingering security issues in the country. The Niger Delta Progressive Youth Leadership Foundation has called for a peaceful resolution to the ongoing political crisis in Rivers State while raising concerns about the legality of the state of emergency declared by President Tinubu. They stated this while briefing journalists in Abuja. Our political correspondent, Edikan Michael, has the report.
The group expressed support for mediation efforts to resolve the crisis, emphasizing the need for dialogue between Governor Similai Fubara, the FCT minister, and the House of Assembly. The group also raised concerns about the suspension of elected officials, calling for adherence to the Nigerian Constitution in any declaration of emergency.
According to the 1999 Constitution, a state of emergency can be declared under the following conditions: if Nigeria is at war, if the country faces an imminent threat of invasion or involvement in war, if there is a breakdown of public order and safety in any part of the country, if there is a clear and present danger of such breakdown, if a disaster or natural calamity has occurred or is imminent, if any situation arises that poses a significant threat to Nigeria's existence, if a state governor requests a state of emergency or fails to act within the responsible time, allowing the president to make such decision.
The forum also criticized political misadvising from some officials and the failure of the National Assembly to intervene, but stressed that a state of emergency could be misused for political manipulation with potentially detrimental consequences for democracy.
The power to declare a state of emergency in any part of Nigeria or even across the entire country must be exercised in accordance with the provision of the 1999 Constitution as amended, and must not be exercised in a flagrant violation of the same Constitution.
The group, like other concerned Nigerians, called on President Tinubu to monitor the actions of political appointees, ensuring they align with his administration's goals, particularly in the lead-up to the 2027 re-election, while reaffirming their commitments to defending Nigeria's constitutional democracy and supporting the Southern Nigeria presidency until 2031. Edika Michael for Global TV News.
The Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dr. Dele Alake, has declared that there will be no hiding place for illegal miners in the country as efforts to strengthen operations of the mining marshals and ensure nationwide coverage are on the way. Addressing a press conference to mark the one-year anniversary of the Corps, the minister emphasized that the establishment of the mining marshals last year has significantly disrupted unauthorized mining activities and restored investor confidence in the sector. Hosanna Okorafo has details.
The Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dr. Dele Alake, explained that activation of the Corps is to enforce provisions of the Nigerian Minerals and Mining Act has struck fear into illegal operators, largely curbing their operations and serving as a deterrent. Assessing the impact of the mining marshals over the past 1 year, the minister stated that 2,220 corps at inception, which has now been scaled up to 2,670 operatives, have raised awareness of the enforcement capacity of the federal government to combat illegal mining, establishing considerable deterrence among illegal miners, and contributed to substantial increase in revenue generated from the sector.
Specifically, on March 21st last year, the solid minerals sector witnessed the implementation of a critical element of our 7-point agenda for domestic consolidation and international competitiveness, and that's the activation of the mining marshals. The core of 2,220 officers that formed the pioneer mining marshals have increased over time by 450. They are now 2,670 as of today.
While the Marshals' operations have been somewhat hampered by logistical constraints, Alake reassured that with the increased budgetary allocation for the ministry in the 2025 fiscal year, such limitations will be addressed.
Corporate collaborators encourage deeper excavation and scale up this illegality and criminality. So the above definition of the enemy necessitated a training schedule that empower the mining marshals with the strategic and tactical skills to combat and overwhelm its targets.
It will be recalled that the Federal Executive Council, FEC, recently approved 2.5 billion naira for the deployment of satellite technology to enhance the security architecture of the mining sector, which will consequently aid the operations of the mining marshals. Hosanna Okorafo reporting for Global Television.
You're watching the live broadcast of the News Express. When News Express returns, Australia to unveil new stadium for 2032 Olympic Games. Details coming shortly after the break. Please stay with us.
Do you know that Global Television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch Global Television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to Global Television. Many thanks for staying with us. If you've just joined us, this is Global Television, bringing you live broadcast of the News Express. In business, the Ministry of Finance has announced a strategic collaboration with the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development to address illicit financial flows and strengthen Nigeria's economic framework. This partnership was formalized during a courtesy visit by Carlos Conde, head of the Middle East and Africa Division at OECD, to Wale Edu, Nigeria's Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy. According to a statement shared on the Ministry of Finance's account, the OECD emphasized its growing engagement in Africa through partnerships with the African Union, regional blocs, and direct country-level initiatives. The federal government has announced plans to partner with Brazilian livestock company JBJ Brazil to establish a 100,000-hectare cattle ranch in Niger State, designed to house 100,000 bulls and boost livestock production in Nigeria. The Minister of Livestock Development, Malam Idi Mukhtar, revealed this during a visit to Governor Umar Bagu in Mina. Mukhtar says that the ranch, part of a $2.5 billion livestock investment agreement with JBJ Brazil, was strategically planned to leverage Niger State's vast resources, including its abundance of water and favorable climate. The United Kingdom's Finance Minister, Rachel Reeves, has announced plans to reduce civil service running costs by 15% over the next 4 years, a move expected to save £2.2 billion annually. The initiative aims to streamline administrative and bureaucratic functions that expanded during the COVID-19 pandemic. Speaking on the proposed reforms, Reeves emphasized the government's commitment to redirect resources towards priority areas such as capital spending and the National Health Service. On the foreign scene, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer and French President Emmanuel Macron will hold another meeting on the coalition of the Willing on Thursday. In the aftermath of the Saudi Arabia talks, the European leaders, along with their allies, aim to provide possible solutions to ensure any potential ceasefire agreement can be maintained and give Ukraine confidence about its future security. In a statement shared, a Downing Street spokesperson says Starmer was continually updating the White House on meetings with his allies following conversations on military planning. Kyiv says up to 30 Russian troops were killed in an airstrike on an element of military infrastructure in Russia's Kursk region. As a result of the strike, it was completely destroyed. The Ukrainian General Staff added that the strike degrades the enemy's ability to conduct operations against Ukraine's defense forces in Sumy and Kursk regions. In sports, the Akwa Ibom State government has announced free tickets for the Super Eagles 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifier against Zimbabwe at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium, Uyo. In a statement, the State's Commissioner for Sports, Paul Bassi, says Governor Umo Eno had purchased all 30,000 tickets to mobilize support for the national team. Bassi says in line with his determination and promise to mobilize support for the victory of the Super Eagles of Nigeria against the Warriors of Zimbabwe, Akwa Ibom State Governor has purchased 30,000 tickets for football fans and supporters ahead of the 2026 World Cup qualification match scheduled for Tuesday, March 25th, 2025 at Godswill Akpabio International Stadium, Uyo. And as Global TV News Express comes to an end, let's take a recap of our top stories. Suspended Senator of Kogi Central, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, has filed a petition to disbar the chairman, Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petition, Senator Nedanwem Imaswe, and have his name removed as a lawyer. In business, the Ministry of Finance has announced a strategic collaboration with the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development to address illicit financial flows and strengthen Nigeria's economic framework. On the foreign scene, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer and French President Emmanuel Macron will hold another meeting on the coalition of the Willing on Thursday. And in sports, we told you, Akwa Ibom State government has announced free tickets for the Super Eagles 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifier against Zimbabwe at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium, Uyo. And that's it on Global TV News Express. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG and other handles now showing on your screen. You can also download the Global TV Nigeria mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. I'm Queen Agaba. Thank you for watching and see you again.